Well, hello. Is this thing on? It is on. Nice. Good evening. Welcome to my stream, the Internet of Things show. Like the show for the Internet of all the things. So, how are you guys doing? Some viewers, but silence in the chat. Well, that takes a while normally. Usually people stop chatting after half an hour or so. I'm not sure why. Okay, so what's up for today? The IDE add-on, of course. Like what's on my Twitter. The thing we're going to do tonight is trying to get it out, trying to get it released. Other things, I'm currently working on a Unifi add-on, Unifi controller that is. So maybe if there's any time left, I will continue working on that as well. Yeah, definitely. Since, in case you don't know, I need the add-on myself, so that's why I'm building it. It's not requested or something. Ah, hell yeah. That's a nice cup of joe. So, the IDE add-on today. Little bit of history. The IDE add-on is one of the first add-ons I created, and it was kind of hard to maintain since the build times of that on were like 4 to 5 hours per architecture. As you might know, Hasho supports 4 different architectures. That's ARM HF, the 46-bit ARM, and 2 Intels, Intel 32 and 64 bits. So that's 4 times 4 hours. That's a long time building it. So if you change something and I need to build it, then well, I have to wait till next day and try it out and discover it's broken. So that's a bad thing, but I recently worked my ass off to get a native build service. So I have now native ARM machines and Intel machines building this stuff for me, which is pretty awesome. Which is all automated. I will show you in a sec. Absolutely. And I think I'm ready to release, since I can now actually run the thing on a Pi and on the Intel, of course, and on generic Linux and on a default Raspberry Pi 3 installed with Hasho, like most of you guys do. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and I need some testing. I added in some extra features as well. Some are requested a long time ago, so that's pretty cool. And we need to test if the IDE add-on still works on all machines, like the Pi and a generic Linux install. And if the new features work. One of the new features is actually persistency. Storing your configuration, like if you configured your theme inside the IDE and the font sizes and all those things. What happened before was you restart your Pi or your Home Assistant and add on. It would actually be lost. All the settings would be lost. And I think I found a way around it. Last night I did a little bit hacking on stream and it did not work. And today I figured it out. I think I figured it out. So that's something we need to test. Yeah. So let's get to it. Any questions? You there? Any questions? Okay. Before starting that, by the way, my mic is having issues. Like, it's a little desk stand thingy, and there's a little bit of the holder that is broken off, so I don't dare to touch it. Oh, hi there, mate. How you doing? thanks for watching. And yeah, so that's kind of issue. And it started off roughly. Since my OBS, and OBS is the software I use to stream live. That's my girlfriend in the back laughing. Since OBS didn't want to set up the stream to the internet. I don't know why. Like Twitch was showing I was streaming, but there was no actual stream. It's all kind of new to me, this, so sorry about that. Wow, that chat looks weird, by the way, in the overlay. Oh, I should fix that. Like, shall I fix that? Hold on. Hold on, let me fix that for you. And it does nothing. Like, how does this even work? Okay, well, I'll leave it at this. We'll fix this another day. So, Nifsk. You include the zip package. It was missing in v0.1. Yeah, that was actually pretty hard to find out. I fixed that yesterday night on the stream of last night. And, well, the issue with it was the IDE does actually a pretty smart thing. It sees you're connected with a Mac or with Linux or Windows, and it chooses the appropriate file format for the platform. So in case of Windows, you would get a zip, and in case of a Mac or Linux, you would get a .gz file. So I never actually found the problem myself, but I've added in zip now. Yeah. No problem. But it's not released yet, so that's the goal for tonight. Testing the add-on if everything's in place. I also have some changes which I like to add as well. Great, thanks. I did manual install it every time. Yeah, I wonder, what did you do? Did you run apk install or apk add zip, or did you do the npm way? That's a thing I did not figure out yet. We go there in a sec. Okay. Oh man, the chat is hardly... Wow, there are now 2 chats here. Like, okay. That's not like I imagine things working. That doesn't make... APK update, APK add zip. Yeah, well, in that case, I did fix it, so I will show in a sec. I also made some other changes which are pending. I also made the SSH add-on and the terminal add-on, and they already contain a lot of handy tools, like tools you need from the get-go, like zip, of course, SQLite, Nmap, I'm not sure, but a whole bunch of tools which would be handy in a terminal, right? And since the IDE add-on is pretty old and did not have that much attention like the SSH and the terminal add-on got, those tools were out of sync as well. So I have some commits pending, some changes pending in my Git repository, which also adds some tools in. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's switch to my desktop. I hope it works. Everything works fine. Where's my... I created some hotkeys, and I really gotta get used to this streaming thingy. I think it's this button. Did it do it? Well, that's pretty... Yeah, it works. Yeah, okay. Awesome. So, welcome to my desktop. I have to turn down the music in my head a little. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, well, IDE add-on. I think I have Visual Studio open here. And you can see there are already some changes pending, which I still need to commit. Let's get the IDE repository out. There we go. 5 issues. Wow, that's one more than I expected. I expected 4 issues, by the way. Oh, it's a new one, 3 hours ago. Okay, we'll take a look to that in a second. So, Save and persist user preferences and project settings. I think I actually worked around that now, so we're going to test that in a bit. The download of the files is not working. Well, I added the zip package here, as you can see in this file, version 3.0, release 4. So that should fix it, although I'm unable to test it since I'm on a Mac. So if you Nifk, is that pronounced correctly? Nifk? Okay. Well, if you are fixing this thing already by those two commands you're listed in the chat, will be good. Cannot install and upgrade to 0.2.0. This is an issue that was submitted a lot, and that's all because of the 2.0 release does not have support for ARM based devices, the Raspberry Pi, which is fixed now. I hope we're going to test that as well. This ticket is actually created by Brew Automation. That guy is a legend, right? He's a YouTube legend. And I heard that he is coming back. I saw him on Twitter. He was tweeting again. I'm really hoping he's pushing out something real quick. It was amazing. Okay, and this one is new. Let's take a look. The IDE add-on won't start. Problem, I can't start the IDE. And he expects it to start. Well, obviously. It fails with the following error. Unsatisfiable constraint, PHP 7. That's odd, since the add-on does not contain PHP 7. So I guess this is a configuration error and at the user side. So I'm going to ask him for this. Let's give it a triage label. Let's add it to my open issues board. And let's ask nicely. Yeah. Hi there. Thank you for your bug report. I wonder. Oh, that's a typo. Must be your. I wonder. PHP is not part of the add-on. So I guess you've installed it manually. Could you please share your add-on configuration? I would really need that in order to debug that for him. Now let's mark it as waiting for reply. That way my bot manages and monitors for a reply. And if it takes too long, like 30 or 60 days or something, it will just close this ticket. Yeah, Tim. Bruce wanted to introduce me to Haas. That's the same for me, by the way. Well, not totally true, but he got me all pumped and let's go for this. He does an amazing job with his YouTube movies. So the one thing here in the bottom is the IDE is not opening after working initially. It is a bit documented on how this happened. I think I found it why, but this is actually almost untestable since it's like an edge case, which happens sometimes, but I've not been able to reproduce it in a current version of the add-on. But hey, let's go. Okay, so this is the IDE add-on. Some other tools I've been using tonight, of course, of GitHub and Visual Studio, which is my IDE of choice. I'm also going to be using one of my my own tools that is really needed for add-on development, in my opinion. This is my Hasio Vagrant setup. A Vagrant is some kind of virtual machine you can run on your own machine, in this machine you're looking at right now, and it contains yeah, well, Hasio out of the box. So this is what I'm going to run and going to test in, and this would be comparable to a generic Linux install of Hasio. And the nice thing of this is that all the data is coming from my local computer, my disk. So the code you're actually looking at here at the right side of my screen was actually directly available in Hasio. So that's pretty cool. makes testing the test loop pretty small. It contains a Portainer, which allows me to go into running add-ons live. And that data, which shows me a lot of data of specific add-ons. How do they behave? How much CPU power do they consume? And how much memory? It can give me a hint there's something wrong. So this is a thing I'm going to use tonight. Let me pick up my terminal. It's my terminal, and I have the hash-IO Vagrant here. And if I run Vagrant status, you could already see it's running, so it's up. hash-IO is up and well. And this is it actually. It just looks like hash-IO. Don't look at all the things it's trying to detect in my home. This is just an install, it's clean. It's just like you would be installing a fresh home assistant. And remember, this is on my computer, so this will be an AMD 64 kind of type machine. But I also have a Raspberry Pi waiting for testing. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. There are some changes I did not commit yet, which is fine at this moment. But since this is my Vagrant machine, the Vagrant machine has a subfolder which is add-ons. And this really is the add-ons folder inside this hash-IO. And you will find all my add-ons in here. Let's go into the IDE. And you can see I have some changes pending, which are the same changes as in my IDE. Let's look at them. I've added some tools, which we still need to test and commit if they're there. And I changed the way the workspace is built up, which is actually the same as I had it before, only I moved a file. Instead of juggling things around, I put the settings file onto the right location from the get-go, which I think is a little bit nicer. Yeah, that's it. So let's test if it works. And this could take a little. Look at this, local add-ons. Those are my add-ons stored on my machine, tunneled through Vagrant into the virtual machine, and made available right here. So if I click install, the add-on is actually built by hash-IO. It's not downloaded, as in you normally click install and download the add-on and well, just run it. In this case, it picks up the source code and actually builds the thing from scratch. So if I make a code change and reinstall the add-on or rebuild the add-on, it will give me the latest and greatest, which is pretty awesome in development terms. Okay, so here it is. It shows dev, which shows me it's the actual development version. Let's hit install. Let's see if it works. Let's scan my Twitter a little. People find it awesome, which is cool. I like that. Thank you, Juan. Juan. I think it's Juan. Yeah. Now let's close up Twitter. It's a distraction. Okay. So while the IDE add-on is installing, I will show you my continuous integration. And what this is as soon as I push changes into this Git repository, it will actually start a build process automatically. So there's not a thing that I'm running by hand. Well, I could for testing, but everything is automated in my world. Pipeline, there it is. Let's open the pipeline. This is the pipeline. You can see I created the last change 5 hours ago, and I did some fine-tuning. And it passed. There's a warning here though. Let's check. Yeah. Yet another warning in the curl. We can safely ignore that for now. So you can actually see all the build steps it takes. Like I split everything in a couple of build steps, like pre-flight, things I need to be making sure before actually trying to build a thing. Like, okay, the Docker file must be valid at all. And the JSON added, which is the configuration file format for hash.io, well, it should be at least valid, right? And Markdown should be looking okay, no dead links and stuff. And shell tag check, which actually checks for common bad practices in code, which is passed as well. And YAML lint, which checks if any YAML files around are valid. And there are some YAML files in all my repositories, so better be sure they are correct. If one of those fails, all build stops. It just stops working actually. So if the pre-flight succeeds, we're going into build stage. And in the build stage, we are going to build the add-on for each architecture that hash.io supports. And they're actually built on a native service. Like this one is actually built on a machine that has an ARM 64-bit processor. And this is actually built on a normal machine, like an Intel machine, which is fine. Same goes for the 32-bit Intel. And the ARM HF is actually built on an ARM v7 processor, which is ARM HF. So that's okay. So if the build passes, it will take the resulting container, which you guys call the add-on, which is simply a Docker container, and it will be scanned for possible security issues. Right now there is a security issue with curl, which I'm going to solve later on, not right now. It's pretty new. It wasn't here yesterday, I guess. I will have to check in a bit. And if the scan doesn't, well, majorly fail, it will continue to deploy it into Docker Hub. And Docker Hub is the service where all add-ons are stored. The results, add-ons, the build containers, the actually file systems that are downloaded to your system are stored in Docker Hub. So they are placed there. And in the next stage, I will create a manifest. And a manifest, well, actually combines all those releases into one new shiny Docker container. And as a last step, it will publish it to the repository you guys add into your Home Assistant. So this is the pipeline, which is not running at the moment since we're building it locally, and it's still building, and it's done. The timing though. And we can see in the system logs, ignore this error please, I know why this is happening. It's because I have an add-on stored in my folder that's not complete yet. But it starts here. Look at this, it starts building the IDE for AMD 64. And the build is done. Let's see if it runs. Let's see if everything is fine now. Let's start it. Do I need to set anything? No. Let's go. Let's take a look. Well, that was quick. Nice. Let's see how it looks. Well, that looks great. Okay, so a couple of things changed. Like there used to be some kind of hidden folder here in the left top init file tree, which is called .c9, which I removed since, well, you don't need it. And yeah, everything is in here right now. This is a backup. Great. Here are all my add-ons, so I could actually now start developing the add-ons right here from the IDE, which is pretty exhibit style, I guess. Configuration, does it load? Ah, this one is empty. And this is all just the default, right? This is a fresh installed system, so nothing to see. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Let's change some things to see if the persistency works, right? I'm going to change my soft tabs to 4. I'm going to... yeah, what to change? The theme. I'm going to change the theme. That's a big thing. Themes. Let's make it the flat dark one. A lot of people like the dark themes, me as well. So here you go, we have a dark theme. I have some configurations open. Let's open an extra terminal. This works fine. Let's see if the checkup tools still work. Like run, check configuration. Does this still work? It's running. Yeah, it exited with 0. It works. Let's restart Home Assistant and put it in a second screen to see if it actually restarts. Yeah, it does. It lost connection. It's reconnecting. Nice. Let's wait a little for it to come back. Yeah, there it is again. Okay, get back over here. Okay, so this seems to work. I've added Nmap. Is it there? Yeah, it is. Nice. So you can scan your so you can actually scan your local network to get sorry, I was a little bit distracted. You can scan your local network for devices if you added some. That's pretty cool. PVGen, in case you need a password. Nice. SQLite. With SQLite 3, of course. This would allow you to look into the Home Assistant database right from your IDE, which is pretty cool. How do you exit this thing? Quit. Bye. Oh, nice. Nice. Help. No. Dot quit. Quit. Exit. Not sure. Well, we'll leave it here. Whatever. I have another one over here. Okay. A wget. Oh, it's in twice. Okay. So that one is not needed at all. Okay. So those 3 new tools are there and working. And now the question remains, are my settings persistent? Yeah. Well, let's try it out. Let's close it up. Let's pick up the add-on. Stop it. It has been stopped. Yeah, it's gone. And start it over again. And see what happens. It's up and running. Oh, it's black already. Oh, amazing. It's already dark. Now look at this. It even remembered my tabs. It even remembered the tabs I had open. Look at the bottom. You can see all the things that were open before, which are still open, even though the add-on has been stopped and restarted, which is pretty amazing. It remembers the state now. The actual state, not only the configuration. So let's check the configuration if the changes are actually there. I'm going to close the tab again and open it to see. Let's go into the preferences. Yeah, it's 4. It's still 4. It's amazing. I'm pretty happy right now. This makes this this add-on so much more usable. Think about it. You install this thing, you have an IDE right from the web. It remembers the state you were in every freaking time. It doesn't matter if you're locally or remotely. Well, that's kind of cool. To be sure, it's not browser cache though. I'm going to open Safari and check the same thing and open the add-on. Let's just go. Oh, let's just copy and paste this in. Oh, it's black already. It's working. Look at this. It's actually same. And if you want to see something really, really cool at this moment, I could actually do this. Do you see this? This is amazing, right? It's like in sync. Pretty cool. Okay. I'm happy with this. Pretty happy with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to commit my latest changes and trigger the build process to actually build it. And if the build finishes, I'm able to pull it down a Pi and check it on a Raspberry Pi if it works just as well. So for this one, I'm going to pick up source tree, which is a graphical user interface for Git. And the reason for this is I would like to commit each of these separately, which is a horrible thing to do on a command line. But first, let me do the workspace improvements. I can click them right from here. Let's do this. Okay, so this file moved to a better location. This is not needed anymore. Yeah, this is it. And if you look now, those are staged. Let's commit this. And this is a little improvement. This is just restructuring, which I always use the hammer for. Hammer improved workspace settings. Okay, so this one is committed. And that leaves me with this one. Let's stage this line. This commit adds nmap version 7.60 R2. And this was adding PVGen, yeah. That allows you to generate some really good passwords, which I guess sometimes you'll just need it. You could also use your password manager, but hitting it just like in a console, like PVGen and enter and getting a choice, it's fine for so much things. Like you need a MQTT password or something or so, just add PVGen in the console and you'll get it. You get a nice pass. Okay. And SQLite for the final one. .3.21.0 There we go. So it's all committed. If you look at Git status, we're clean. Everything's there. So push it out. Here we go. We'll pop up my GPT key. I use a YubiKey key for everything, by the way. I like the security of the thing. Okay, let's close up. And if all went fine, I just pushed my source code into GitHub, and GitHub will trigger GitLab to say, hi, somebody pushed code. And GitLab, oh, thank you, I will pull it. And he pulls code in and triggers the build process. And there we go, it's already there. There we go, it's pre-flighting now. And this pre-flight is actually executed on real servers, on real machines. Okay, so it needs to check the markdown. There we go, it's building. So let's take a look at one of those builds. Well, this build has been tagged as an ARM build and is running on Hashow add-on server number 3. I have 4 servers running for this project. And there we go, it builds. And now we wait, play the waiting game. Let's see if the guy replied. No, he did not. Too bad. If it was a true issue, I could add it to the release, right? So is there anything you guys want to see or show or know while we wait for the build to finish? Just put it in the chat. AMA, ask me anything, man. Yep. This thing is really cool. So I'm going to close the IDE add-on meanwhile. And maybe I could start working on something else. Like what? Nah, I'm going to wait the build out. Actually, I could already install the IDE add-on, like on the Pi, and it would just have to fetch the update, right? So that would be quicker. Let's do that. Let's go into my Pi. This is hashout.local, which is pretty much the same as any other Pi. It's just a Raspberry Pi 3, an SD card in it, flashed it, and there's pretty much junk in here, since it's really used for testing stuff. Like this is broken. I think I used this one for a screenshot. Okay, it's outdated as well. But I think the supervisor is up to date, which is the most important for an add-on. Okay, let's go into the add-on store, and this is the add repository. The add repository is created on each commit. So this build, if it finishes it, look at this. At the end, it will publish it to the add repository. So let's install IDE from the add repository in the Pi as well, which can take a while as well, since the IDE add-on is pretty big, and the Pi is not the quickest device in the world. Yeah, this thing is pretty amazing. Nice. Is there anything I can show you guys in the meantime? As in, it's still building. The add-on is installing on a Pi. Just hit it in the chat. AMA. Anything you'd like to know? See? You know what? I'm going to run for the toilet and get a new cup of Joe while this is running. So I'll be right in. Be right back. So let's talk a little. Since the add-on is still building, which could take up to half an hour, which I saw, I think we have to do something different. And I would like to have some input, maybe, or else I have to think about something myself. Which I have a ton of stuff to do. Like, I don't know even where to start. I usually set one goal and go for it. Just one goal. Like today's goal is just like get the IDE add-on out. Like there's so many questions. There's so many people complaining about not being available for the Pi. Yeah. I definitely should fix that. So this one has to go out. Another thing is Unifi, which I'm working on, which is a big problem to create. The add-on itself is probably one of the hardest add-ons I ever created at this moment. Well, besides IDE and Pi hole, Unifi is pretty hard. The software itself is pretty simple. It's just Java and it runs, but the fact that it needs Java and it needs to be available for a Pi and AMD in the same add-on, it's kind of hard. And the most hard part is MongoDB. It uses MongoDB to store its data in. And there's a little thing with MongoDB. It's not available for a Pi. At least it's not anymore. And the second thing is the newest MongoDB that's currently in the newest and latest Ubuntu is, well, not compatible with Unifi. So those are a couple of problems I'm currently having with the Unifi add-on, which is not out yet. But I think I solved most of those. I ended my stream yesterday with the build failing on ARM HF, like the Pis, which sucks. But let's pick up that one. Let's do that. Let me switch to my desktop so you guys can take a look. Here we go. Let's get OBS out of the way. Okay, so this is the IDE. And actually, if all goes well, I do not need my IDE to edit the IDE, exhibit style. I don't need Visual Studio anymore for the IDE add-on. If everything goes well, it's just a publish, right? So let's not change it anymore. Okay, anything going on in the chat? It's like pretty quiet. That's too bad, a little bit sad. Okay. So the IDE actually installed on a Pi, it finished. But we need to update it to the version that's currently building, so we'll wait on that. Okay, we don't need this one anymore. Let's clean up a little. Okay. So yesterday I ended with actually creating a GitHub repository for the Unifi add-on. Oh, missed a slash. Add-on a Unifi. And I did a basic repository setup. So right now it's empty. It contains a license file and some basic stuff actually I use, but there's no add-on in there yet. Let's open tab here. Let's go into the add-on and let's get the code. Let's open Visual Studio Code as well. There we go. This is the code of Unifi. And this looks pretty complicated, and it is actually. And the thing I'm currently doing is actually install the official Java. And I'm wondering if I should do that or not. Maybe I could use OpenJDK, which is an open source version of Java, which is actually in the easy installable as well. Let's take a look. Oracle Java 8 versus OpenJDK 8. Seems like a good search term. I used to do Java a lot back in the days. But yeah, I guess my knowledge is a little bit sunk away. Let's see, binaries are provided for both. Yeah, so it's both OpenJDK and Oracle created with and maintained currently by Oracle only. Oh, so it's actually, oh, OpenJDK is by Oracle. So why there are two? Okay, so it doesn't actually matter. And if it doesn't matter, I would absolutely prefer OpenJDK. Look at all this. This is all needed to install the freaking JDK. Or in this case, Oracle Java, the official one. So let's replace this by OpenJDK. Let's do that. So in this case, this add-on will be running on Ubuntu. And we need to install OpenJDK. Okay, let's go to Ubuntu packages and see packages.ubuntu bionic OpenJDK 8, I guess. This is gas, bad gas. Okay, let's search again. OpenJDK. No, that's not correct. There's no underscore. No. Yeah, this is it. OpenJDK, and we need OpenJDK 8 for the Unifi add-on. And we should use the headless one. So I need this package. And I'm actually gonna restructure things. Like, look at this. I'm here installing the official package and MongoDB, which is a hack. I will get there in a sec. And we're going to fix it on a version. This is a thing I do. I always specify the version in a Docker container. And the reason for this is if I change it, Docker would actually see it and destroy the cache in that case. If a build comes along where this is the same, like the Docker file isn't edited, but the files in the container are edited, it will just pull up that layer, that caching layer, and build further on where it was. So it can actually start to build halfway, and that's pretty amazing. It helps a lot. Secondly, I can tell you guys what changed. So I always pin down the version in an add-on, which is a good practice. It's the best practice according to Docker as well. And if someone in the community add-ons does not pin a package, the build will be cancelled. I check in my builds if they are all pinned, and that's actually done here. Like HaloLint will check this. If there's one package that isn't pinned, the build will fail. Okay, so I added OpenJDK. This can be gone, this can be thrown away. This is the Java, can be thrown away. This is Java, can be thrown away. I actually think I can throw away this as well, like the whole GPG thing. And this one. Look at this, it's sexy. Let's move this up. No, actually leave it here. It's pretty okay, just here. And move the update lower. Okay, so what this is going to do, it will add some extra repositories to the Ubuntu install, which is a hack needed to get MongoDB running. Afterwards, it's going to update the repository, the apps repository, apt repository. And then it will go ahead and install OpenJDK and MongoDB. Then it will download the Unifi add-on and we'll try to install it. And this is a problem still, since I've added those pipes, 2 pipes and then through, which means if this command fails, continue. Oh, not moving. If the command fails, continue. And it does fail, which is still a thing. But this command actually fixes this install above it, and I need to get rid of it. This will install additional packages. Afterwards, this one will succeed. So there's a thing I need to fix. I need to add some extra packages in this list here to actually get it running. Okay. The removal of GPG is no longer needed since I removed the installation of it, so removing is kind of useless. And leave it this way. And these are all cleanups to reduce the container size. Okay. Oh, this looks great. Let's see. It's still building. The IDE add-on is still building. It's the ARMHF, which is slow, which is not surprising at all. Let's take a look. This is actually not not bad. It's expected, so don't be scared by these errors. But it's pretty far in the process, so it shouldn't take long. It's like now 21 minutes. Give it another minute or 10. Okay, back to the Unifi add-on. So I changed this. Let's see if it builds. Let's just pick up Docker, just plain Docker, and see if it works. Let me start up Docker. This might take a minute or so. So this is the Unifi folder right here in the IDE, and that's where the Docker file is located. And I can now try to build the thing locally on my machine here. And that's a quick way. I cannot use it, but it's a quick way to see if the build succeeds. Docker build without a cache, tag it as #IO add-ons Unifi, and this is a dev version, and build the thing that's currently in the current folder, the dot. Let's go. There it goes. Yeah, it's odd. Those warnings show up as red, indeed. Thank you, Timo. It's indeed, it's odd. The thing is, the whole Cloud9 IDE is actually based around a pretty freaking old npm installation. The thing is so huge. Okay, so it's unpacking Unifi. That's a good thing. It failed. That's the true thing I talked about. It failed since it's missing binutils and libcap2 and gsvc. So those are the 3 things I probably need to add in order to fix this part. But then it will continue, and the container has been built successfully, which is amazing. Okay, so let's try to fix this part here. I really hate like passing a failed thing and then running a thing that fixes the bad thing, like man. But there's all kinds of interesting things in here, like here's JSV, which is required, right? Let's add it. And the version it's using right now is 1.0.15-8. Okay, what was the other thing? Like binutils. Binutils, yeah. So I need binutils. And I need libcap. Okay. which versions are they being installed? Pin utils. There it is, it's this version. And where's libcap? Here it is. Okay, let's sort this a little. I like to be alphabetically sorted. So let's remove this. Shall I remove it? Yeah, let's remove this for now. Let's see if it succeeds. Oh man, I like this song. Okay, there's some chatter in the community as well at this moment, so let's check what's going on there. Meanwhile, let's do the pi hole add-on. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. That's an old issue. I'm not sure if it's still valid. It's a pi hole add-on which has issues with reverse lookup on the upstream DNS. I'm not sure. I'll have to check later. Okay. So it passes. Like, this is great. This is really great. So this means I now have a Docker container containing Java, MongoDB, and Unifi, the controller software, the 5.7 branch. But running this thing would be impossible at this moment, since I have not created any startup things yet. So let's throw away Nginx. I used the InfluxDB add-on as a template. Let's throw away the stuff we don't need. So this is the Unifi, which is still probably, yeah, Influx. Now let's create Unifi controller. When the Unifi controller fails. So these are the startup files. Like, this is actually triggering the when you hit start, it actually takes care of starting stuff. It's called services, and this is the Unifi service, which we're currently going to build. Not service. Unifi controller runs the Unifi controller. Starting the Unifi. So this will start Unifi, but I'm not sure what to run at this moment. So what we're going to do is comment it out and just enter sleep. Like, let's do a sleep for an hour, and this will start the service that is sleeping for an hour, which gives us time to debug stuff and see what's actually needed to get the thing running. Okay. This is a requirements thing. This is container init, which is all these SH scripts in there are executed in order like they are listed before actually the services are triggered to start. So this allows us to get configuration options and communicate with hash.io and do things for the user and get everything in place before the actual service starts. And this is something that's unique to the community add-ons. This is all part of the framework I created. Like, look at this. Like, getting a configuration option, like check if the SSL configuration options has been enabled. It's just has.config.true, which is all I need to do. I could look up a comparison on how other add-ons will do that, but I think this is pretty nice. Like, does this configuration option has a value? If not, die. It will just die the add-on. It will exit with a failure. And file exist. So these are all pretty nice checks. And here, hash.config.get just gets the configuration option. So it's pretty easy. Okay, rename this as well. Yeah, that's okay. I think we're going to support SSL, right? So let's leave this in. Nginx, let's move it for now. Yeah, that's all kind of chronograph stuff for the InfluxDB add-on. It's InfluxDB authentication. And this is for the capacitor, also InfluxDB. Okay, so we're now down to a pretty basic thing, right? We have a working Docker file. We have a basic configuration file, which points to SSL, which does not exist yet. I'm not even sure which ports I need. Interesting. So I need to find out which ports I need, but that's for a later problem. Going first, try to see if it runs. Let's see if I build a container, does it run? I'm going to enable cache this time. It will make the dev builds much quicker and save a lot of disk space. See how fast it just jumped over all this. Okay, so the Unifi dev is now built, and I think it's ready. Let's see if it starts. I'm going to run an add-on straight from Docker, which is actually fraud upon, but in this case, yeah, I'm going to. There we are. So you see all kinds of errors appearing, which is to be expected, right? We're not in HashOut at this moment, so it tries to connect to HashOut, which fails, which is to be expected since we're actually running on a local machine, which is not HashOut at all. But here's a container, and I wonder. Okay. I'm not sure how the Java thingy works. Here we go. So Java is there. And yesterday I used a template of another user, a Docker template from Ranch. To get some hints. As you can see, it's totally different than the installation method I use. But there are some interesting things in here, like where the data is going and which ports I need. So that's pretty cool. And this is the way it's been started. Let's see if it starts. Is it starting? I'm not sure. Oh, I think the build passed. Yeah, it passed. IDE build passed. Oh, that's amazing. Nice. Let's see how far it is in the whole pipeline. Oh, the whole pipeline is still running. Yeah, it's now scanning. This takes a while as well, like 10 to 15 minutes. That's great. Yeah. So I think it starts, but it seems to be starting in the background, right? Is there a way to start in the front? Start VC might actually, no, that's a Windows servers. Okay, let's cancel this. Does it work this way? Holy shit. So I need to find out how this thing actually works. This whole... Oh, it just takes a while. Okay, fine. Can I get some info? Give me some info. Well, it actually gives me info. That's cool. Okay. Let's try turning this in an actually working thing. So, running this thing is like execute. Useless bin says Java. Like a gig of memory, that's pretty much right. For a Pi even. But okay, let's just assume this is correct. We can always change things. Let's move to sleep. Oh, start, of course. This seems about right. And we still need to handle all these things. But I wonder which port's actually being used. I can forward them all. Let's exit this container. Let's build it again to get this into the new build. And yet again, it's pretty quick, since only one of the files changed and not the whole build system. Docker run. Okay, we're going to add some ports in here, like 8080 and 8081. And this will actually add port forwards to my local system, so I can see if it actually works. Does it show up? I think that's about right. Let's see what happens. No, do not change it. Hey Frank, are you working on what I think you are working on? I'm not sure. What do you think? Harmless saucer. Let's see what's in it. Yeah. I just SSH, I just get into the Docker container as well, but still it's starting the service, right? Okay, what's happening here? Oh, Apps Online, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. So you can see it actually started Unifi as a service, and it started MongoDB as well. That's a good thing to know, by the way. That's a question I did not ask myself yet. Oh, Nick of CK, thank you for the follow. And next, I can see this. What's wrong? Oh, Noxel, thank you for the follow as well, mate. Thank you, guys. Great to have you aboard. So it actually started MongoDB, and that's a question I did not ask myself in the beginning. Like, I started a service called Unifi, but did I need to start MongoDB myself? Apparently not. Hey man, welcome aboard Apps Online. APT Online or Apps Online, I'm not sure. Great to see you around here. Harmless Saucer. I'm still waiting for what are you thinking then, mate? I'm not sure. I spotted Unifi. I hoped someone would make this add-on. It's a bit overkill having a whole other Pi just to run it. Yeah, indeed. Well, let me show you this. Let me switch to talk mode in this case. Let's see if it works. Yeah, here we are. Look at this, mate. I got me a couple of these things. And I refuse to install a controller on a separate system. So yeah, I'm creating one. Okay, let's switch back to my desktop. It's apt. Apt. Yeah, it's apt. I figured it out that. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome, mate. You're actually one of my, I think the biggest contributors to my Twitter account, I guess. Always replying and tweeting and stuff. Great. Okay, so back to the Unifi add-on. It actually starts, and it even started MongoDB. Oh, okay, I closed it up. That's not a good thing. Okay. Is the Docker still running? Yeah, it's still running. Oh. Let's kill it. I don't need it anyway. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for it. It's not a compliment. It's just I'm grateful that you're doing that, and that's I really enjoy the interaction with the community. It keeps me going, right? Okay, I accidentally killed the terminal. Let's go back where I was. Okay, so let's start again. So yet again, it's starting right now, and there's MongoDB as well. Okay, so it's running. So how do I access this thing? Like I forwarded a shitload of ports. I'm not sure. 8443? Sounds like it could be. Oh, that's not going to work. You had to go for a missed IDE part. Well, no, the IDE part is not finished yet. It's currently building, actually, Nick have. So you did not miss a thing. Okay, so it's not 443. Is it 88? 8080? Does any one of you know? Oh. Well, this is doing something. Well, look at this. You actually witnessed it, witnessed now the first run. Something is starting. Your default port is 8443. Yeah, I'm not sure where this port, what these ports are for. And like, I don't know, man. I'm new to this thing. Yeah, the UNMS. Yeah, that's a new piece of software, which is fun in case you're having all kinds of other devices as well, I think. But as far as I know and researched, you could use UNMS, but it's still beta kind of thing. It's not fully done yet. So I'm choosing, in this case, a stable solution. A known stable solution, and maybe for the future I will build a UNMS add-on as well. Why not? Just add it additionally. Yeah? Thank you, Patrick Polly, for that comment. That's a good question. Okay, I'm going to disable backup since this is not permanent as well. Okay, no devices found. Do I need a device to continue? No, I do not. Okay, let's skip this step. I want to see something. I want to see an interface. Admin name. Admin at example.com. Password. Admin. Oh. Yeah, the security gateway. That is I've seen that thing. I'm not sure. No, you're right, yeah. Thank you. You made me doubt a little there. Okay, this is too weak, so it must be more complicated password, I guess. Admin is too weak. So admin smiley? No. Admin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? No? How about hello? Oh, one exclamation mark hello. Okay. Hello. Oh, one exclamation one. I'm already forgetting it. Give me a password. Like, how hard can this be? I use a password manager. I forgot how passwords work. Like, give me a thing. Oh, this seems like a perfect password to me. Let's paste it in. It's perfect. It must differ. Okay. Let's put an exclamation mark behind it. Here we go. No, we're not going to save it. No. Okay. Admin. Look at this. This is just sexy. This is the first time I'm seeing this, actually. I'm unsure how this all works. That's pretty cool. I should hook up one of those thingies to see if it finds it, right? But I'm happy with this already. Okay, let's go back to the IDE add-on. Yeah, it has been published. Okay, we're going to leave the Unifi add-on for a sec, since the goal of tonight was to release the IDE add-on, right? So let's close this Docker thingy to get some space. Let's go back into the IDE. Let's pull this down as well. Okay. Okay. So what are we needing to do? Yeah, it's published to the Edge repository at this moment. And the Edge repository, remember, is a repository I have which contains the latest builds. Not published builds, but just builds you can run. And we need to test this thing on a Pi. So this is hasio.local, which is actually a Raspberry Pi 3, running a little bit older Home Assistant, but has the latest supervisor running. And I've installed the IDE already in the previous step, but I need to update it to the version we just built. So let's refresh the store. And if all goes right, look at this, there's an update waiting, which is a 791. And if we look at this, it matches the latest commit, 791. It's okay. So let's see, update please. And I think I'm going to do the same test on a virtual machine. One of the APs will show up under devices on the left, and then you can adopt it. Is it like a child you get or something? Adopt it. That's a pretty nice term. It's like you bind it to the controller, right? Interesting. I will pick one of those out of the box in a sec, and I have a network port right here in the wall, so I can put it in, I guess. There's also a PoE injector in it, so. Oh, R-related, thank you for the subscribe, man. Welcome to the club. Hope to see you sometime soon. In the chat, I mean that. So this takes a little while. That's more like it, R-related. Thank you. Meanwhile, I'm going to unbox one of those things. Like, those things aren't even that ugly. They look pretty. You definitely deserve a coffee or two for getting the Unifi add-on started. Well, it's not an add-on yet. It's just a Docker container now. So the add-on creation process is not nearly done. But, well, at least it starts, right? That's the beginning of everything. The rest of the things is just configuration wrapping, I guess. Okay, let's pick up the cables and stuff. So there's an adapter here, that's a PoE adapter. I did get some pros, two AC Pro Unifi things. That's a question in the chat. I did get 2 of them, which should be enough. One in the living room and one for the attic, which I will place in the stairway, halfway the stairway, in the first floor and the second floor. So it will give me Wi-Fi on both floors, like not perfect, but pretty okay. They are fucking expensive. Yeah, maybe they are, but if I look at all the Wi-Fi solutions I tried in all the past, I probably spend more money on those freaking things that ain't working. So, yeah. I hope this one is actually better than all the stuff I bought before. So okay, this is power. I need to get a wire, like a Ethernet wire. Oh, I do not get an Ethernet wire. The build process of the add-on is finished, which is much more important. Okay, but found the wire in the drawer, so can continue that later. Okay, so the IDE add-on updated and installed on the Pi. So that's okay. And the question is, does it work? Right, that's the whole thing. So let's try. And if it works on a Pi, and if it passes the zip test, or at least the download test, it passes the persistent user settings test. The console needs to work like the terminal, which was broken in all editions, but up until now, I hope. And the new tools must be in, like Nmap. So those are the things we are looking for. So let's go. Let's start it up. The Pi is considerably slower than my Vagrant setup on my machine. It's the dev version, the 791 version, which is okay. We expected that. It's up and running and listening. So it starts. That's a start, right? Let's open it. Let's open it here. Oh, look at this. I put one in my house, one in my workshop. I made a mistake of mounting one on my house downstairs. I have very little single strength above upstairs. I guess it focuses down nearly 100%. Yeah, that's one of the things there. We're drifting again, but they only send like this. They don't have an antenna here. It's all reflecting to the front, so that's a thing to keep in mind. That's actually not in their software, as a colleague of mine told me. We have these at the company I work for as well, so I'm familiar with how they look, and well, a colleague told me some tips, so, but I never used them. But okay, back to the IDE add-on. The terminal seems to be working, which is amazing, since this is the first release where the terminal is actually going to work on a Pi. Freaking happy about it. Okay, so this works. Can I actually download the configuration? Let's try. Download. Look at that. Download it. Extract it. Couldn't move into a destination. I think there's I already have something called something like that. Let's try this one. See. Yeah. Just works. Fine. Okay, that's pretty good. So the download works. Let's see if it persists. So I'm going to open another terminal. So I've got 2 terminals opened. Let's change the theme to test the user settings. Let's take the dark one. Everybody likes dark these days, right? Come on, change it. Yeah, change it all. Okay, so that's pretty okay. Let's open some files. If it's all going right, it will persist the tabs as well. So it should persist the files I have open, including the terminals. That's part of the test I'm doing right now. I've tested the Plexon on here as well. Welcome. Yeah, it's a default installation, doesn't matter. Okay, some tabs open. Pretty cool. I want to change some preferences as well. Let's go using soft tabs of 12. Sounds about right. 12. Okay. So that's okay. We changed some things that are recognizable, like the soft tabs. We have 2 terminals open. I have some files open. Let's shut it down. Let's shut it down. Stop it. It disconnected, which is amazing. Okay, so if I reload diff, the wrong browser, it's really off now. Let's start it again. Let's start. And let's see if he remembered everything between restarts. Cloud9 is up and running. Let's see. Let's close this one. Let's open a new one. It's black already. Nice. Look at this. Wow. I'm so freaking happy right now. You can tell, right? Like, it persisted, all the tabs. It persisted, like, even the terminals I had open. Let's check the configuration if my soft tabs are still there. Like, yeah, it's still 12. So that's cool. And to ensure it's not browser cache, let's open Safari. Let's try Safari as well. Look at this, it's black already. And it opens exactly at the same spot I left the right browser. So Safari and Chrome are in sync. Let me show you a little quick thingy, which works on other machines. Yeah, it works. Look at this. It's in sync. I'm so happy. Wow. Okay. So let's see if the runners still work. We can check the configuration. Let's check the configuration. And let's see if everything went fine. This checks the Home Assistant configuration. It runs #i Home Assistant check. Yeah, it exited with 0 code, with the code 0, which is amazing. It's good. It's good to go. And let's check if the add-on, the Home Assistant restart works as well. Restart Home Assistant. And if everything, yeah, here it goes. Connection lost. Amazing. Let's wait a little to wait for it to come back. this is pretty cool. I'm seriously pretty happy about this. Okay, while it's reconnecting, let's pick up the network cable. Oh, I need 2, right? For the POA injector. Oh, okay. Well, it started. Yeah, that seems fine. So everything works. That's cool. So one thing left. Let's make an error in this file. Like, let's call this home assistant and check if the check configuration actually fails. I think I have a small network cable here lying around. Yeah, found one. Okay, so the configuration check actually works. In case of an error, it shows the exact thing that's going wrong. So the exact thing is, yeah, obviously. Nice. So I call this a success. I don't know how about you guys, but I think it's done. I think it's done. I'm going for a release. I'm going to push this one out. And let's see what happens then. Yeah. Okay. So what we are going to do now, like the source code is already on GitHub, right? And I've built a dev version, which is absolutely fine. It's working great. Can't wait to use this now. Haven't you used the add-on yet? Okay. But it looks great, it works, it persists the settings, so it's done. It runs on a Pi, and I already tested it in a previous session on a generic Linux install. So the only thing left to do is just hit publish, right? And create a changelog, I guess. So that's what we're going to do. Going into here, this is the IDE add-on, and I'm going to release this as the 0.3 release, like just one up, since it's all a little bit too, I don't know, things might be going wrong. I'm not comfortable with calling it stable yet. Sorry about that. So I'm going to open Sublime, which is like my little cut and paste notepad. This is my little template for a release node. Here we go. It's the IDE, and it's going to be from 0.2.0 to 0.3.0. Okay, and in order to know what I should put in this changelog, I'm going to copy this URL and paste it into my browser. And this will show nothing, since the 0.3.0 release is not out yet, so there's nothing to compare. So I'm going to compare it to the latest commit. And there we go. This is everything that has been changed since the 2.0 release. And this would give me a nice handout to create a changelog. Here we go. Okay, so this changed. We used a new build environment. I've upgraded the base images, which is running underneath it. I've upgraded the bind tools to the latest version. Get has been upgraded as well. I fixed the typo in the Docker file, which is it a bug? Yeah, I defined it as a bug since there's an ambulance in front of it, so it probably is a bug. Let's put it in a fixed list. I've added back ARM support, which is like the highlight of this release, right? I've removed the old CLI. There was still a pretty freaking old CLI in this IDE, and well, I've added a new Go-based CLI that's in the SSH and terminal version as well. I fixed the build arc location. I've added zip. I forgot to mention the version, but okay. I've added the persistent storage of user and project settings. And I fixed something for it. I'm not sure if I should list it. Oh, it's spelled wrongly. Okay, never mind. I did some fine tuning. This is all like the same thing. So I'm not going to change that. I've improved the workspace settings, changed some defaults around. I added nmap and the password generator and SQLite as well. I've used Cloud9 before. I didn't work too well when I used it with my Pi. The version looks like a lot better. Yeah, a lot has improved. You saw the demo, right, from the Pi, right? It's just a plain old Pi 3. Nothing special. So this looks like a decent changelog, right? Do you agree? If so, I can hit release and it's done. Yeah, I feel okay with this. I'm going to publish it. And the thing what's going to happen if I hit this button, it's like the same like I do a git push, like push new code into GitHub. So I'm going to hit this button. Here we go. And what's happening now in the background is that GitLab will start a pipeline again. Only this time the pipeline will look different. Let's wait for GitLab to pick it up. Let's wait, play the waiting game, come on. Kapow! Indeed, Patrick, kapow. I'm so happy about this, it will be amazing. The build would take not that long this time, since it can use the build cache it built up, the last build. Will still take 15 minutes or so. After it picks up. Why is it not picking up? Come on, man. Ah, this takes longer. There it is. 0.3.0. And this is kind of different, like the way I work versus the other add-on developers work, and like the core add-ons work. I automated the shit out of it. So I actually just put in a tag and do the thing triggers. And it's going to build. Preflight has been passed already. And if you look at this, the final step changes. The final step changes to publish, and it publishes it to the beta channel and the stable channel. And the stable channel is the thing you guys all are using. That's the one that's communicated in the forums and community. And which is installed by default on all hash.io installations nowadays. So if this goes green, you can hit refresh on your Pi and see it. So we have to wait for the build to finish. So I'm going to take a moment to, well, I think I'm going to grab myself a Oh well, you guys have to do with this image, I guess. Okay, I got myself a gold hobgoblin. I like special beers. Smells great. So I would say cheers, mates. Okay, let's switch back to my desktop. That's the wrong button. This is the good one. Welcome back. Let's refresh this. Let's look at how the deployment is going. It's now scanning the resulting containers for issues, which is fine. So I will continue hooking up my Unifi, right? Like there's a LAN port and a PoE port. Okay, so this is going into LAN, and this one into the PoE. And then I guess this long one goes into my AP. Okay, let's hit it. So I put it in the wall. So this, if I hook up this one right here, hit it into main, does it turn on? Yeah, it's on. I'm not sure if it's visible on the cam though, but okay, it's on. We'll get back to that in a sec. That's exciting. Sudo exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Sudo made me a sandwich, right? Oh, that scanning part. It's always so slow. But it actually started scanning, so it should be finished in a blip. Let's close this one up. The thing which I always do, is update the community forum topic. So let's find the IDE topic. Great news, saving up for a Cup of Joe contribution. Well, that's nice of you, Kevin. Because I drank a lot of Cup of Joes. Okay, so we're going to do a forum post right after this is all finished. So let's prepare that one. Let's open a new reply. And what I usually do is just this. I edit this release. I copy and paste this in. Like. This gives me a nice release notes thingy. Release v0.3.0. And let's add a tada to it, because I'm pretty happy about it. And now we have to write something nice about it, right? Okay, let's write something about it. Back with a final release this time, and it's language is hard. A pretty exciting one, I must say. many of you complained about dropping the ARM support, e.g. Raspberry Pi. This release adds it back in. Let's add some more emoji. Like cool? No. Like rock on or something? No. How's this emoji called? I'm not sure. Let's browse. How's it called? How's it tagged? Peace. Wave. This one. Love your gesture. Is it? No, I want this one. Metal. Metal. Yeah, this is metal. This is metal. This release, yeah. Okay, and also user and project settings will it's not Dutch, it's English here, will now persist. Need persist. No, whatever. We're going to use autocorrection. So will now persist across reboots, across add-on, restarts, and reboots. The most amazing part, though, it not only remembers your settings. Hey, little doggy, shut up. It will remember the state you left the IDE in and restores it. And personally, I like this feature a lot. So I need another. I like those emoji. I think it really improves the fun in it. I don't know. So which should I add? Hear no evil, see no evil. Yeah, that's probably fun. Now I'm going to add the heart. Like, I love this feature, so why not add the heart? Like, I just can search for heart, right? Here we go. So enjoy the release. And if it does not show up, be sure to hit the refresh button in the add-on store. So that's a nice message, right? Do you guys agree? I can still change it. Okay, how's the pipeline going? Let me see. Almost there. It's deploying to Docker Hub now. And while this process is long, if you are waiting for it and watching it, it's actually pretty amazing that it's all automated, right? I only set a tag in GitHub, right? That's it. And all the rest will be done automatically without any effort. So why are you still deploying, man? Oh, it's been pushed. Okay. It succeeded. So now it has to build the manifest, which is usually pretty quick. Let's watch the stable manifest. Oh, this beer is good, man. Nice. Okay, so this one succeeded. Now let's wait for the other three. One left to do. Almost there. It is busy publishing it to stable. Let's watch the stable release. And this is something I'm pretty proud of. This actually generates the repository you see on GitHub, and is actually downloaded into your Shell installation. So this whole thing, like the thing you're adding, is automated. Like the only one who commits here is the add-ons bot. And this is actually the bot running right now, which is pretty cool. So everything in here is just coming from the generator, since I don't like doing things manually. And it detected the IDE, it detected the current version and the latest version. And it has an update waiting to be published, which is absolutely correct. And here it goes, it's updating the IDE, it's generating new files and readmes and changelogs and stuff. It's cleaning up, and it's done. It has been published. So if I refresh the repository, look at this, the release of the add-on 0.3.0. Let's take a look at what changed. It changes the URLs to the readmes. It updated the changelog, and it updated the version number and added back support. Installing. Man, you're quick. Okay, so let's take a look. In here, has it been published correctly? Community add-ons, IDE. That's not a correct one. It mixes up stuff. Okay. Let's check here. Add-on store. Like, it's there. Nice. Works. Good job. Thank you, mate, for testing that quickly. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to publish this node. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. Voila. And that's what I'm doing for a release. I simply tag it. I test it, of course, and build it, but afterwards I simply tag it and wait for it to finish, which is actually pretty lazy, right? But it's out. Let's send a Twitter message as well to make some people happy. Yeah. Rest released IDE add-on version 0.3.0 for at home assistant IO. This version adds back support for the Raspberry Pi. Be sure to install and update. And add a cool sunglasses thingy, I guess. Here we go. Oh. Yeah, let's add URL to the community notes. Voila. Add some hashtags. Add on IoT Cloud9. Are they online? I'm not going to tag them. I think it's okay like this. Should I add a screenshot? It's always fun, right? Screenshot works, right? Let's open it. Like, there's nothing to see here, so let's okay, I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to tweet it. Are you guys going to retweet it? Hopefully. Would be cool. Released IDE add-on for this version adds back support for Raspberry Pi and a lot of other insane features and fixes. be sure to install and update. Yeah, here we go. Rumors out. Did I actually send it? Normally you would hear a little sound, but yeah, I did. Thank you for the retweet, Timo. There we go. But this is what my Twitter looks like, by the way. Okay. So I guess the main goal of today has been completed. Mission accomplished. That's pretty cool. I would say cheers. Ah. Oh, you guys are retweeting. Nice. Look at this. That's amazing. It makes me so happy to see that. You know what's cool about doing a release? Like, you do a release and people download it and install it and use it and stuff. But after you do a release, it's like a little black hole. For me personally, like, I want to watch what's happening. If people report bugs, oh, bug, we need to close the bug reports. But it's nice to see what's happening, right? And this guy didn't reply. Okay. So this has actually been fixed. So let's remove the in progress label and close. It has been done. Let's close it. Fixed. Just released. Thank you for the report. Close. And this one is fixed as well. So again, progress label off, close, done. Here we go. Oh, close issue. Remove the progress label, closed, done. And this one actually has been fixed as far as I know. If the error still occurs, feel free to reopen. Patrick Polly, it does not propagate. Yeah, well, it's not pushed, so you have to or wait or manually trigger. So let me show you that. Let me close this one off. If you go into Hash.io add-on store, you will find a little refresh button here in the top corner right. If you hit it, it will update the add-ons. Just hit it, wait a couple of seconds, maybe like 10-15 seconds, and it should show an update. So there's one issue left on the IDE add-on, which I think is a user error, but he hasn't replied yet, so we're clean here, which is amazing. It hasn't been clean since November last year. Pretty happy. We'll check, thanks. Yeah, you're welcome, mate. Always welcome. Let's see the Discord channel. Is there something here? It's pretty silent today. Okay. Okay, so that this finishes the IDE add-on. Oh, looks fine. Everything has been done. The build's passed, the test passed, the release passed. Yeah, I think I'm going back into the Unifi add-on. Like, this has all been done, right? Let's close up some things. Oh, I like those retweets and loves, man. Thank you guys, it's really appreciated. Like, I could develop like 200 add-ons, but if nobody retweets and being ambassador, I guess, it would be useless. So thank you guys, really thank you. Thank you for watching as well. Like, there are multiple people watching, which I never expected when I started streaming this week. Like, what the hell? Pretty cool. But I'm not going to be emotional and stuff. That's not. Let's close this one. Yeah, this is cool. Just cool. Okay. Where were we? Oh, we were... this can be closed. We have been successfully opening up the Unifi, right? So the next question was, could we actually see my proper Unifi device showing up? Let's try it again. Oh, IDP, localhost, like 8080 was it, I think, or 888. I'm not sure, I forgot. 8080. And if all goes right, it should be blank, like creating the user process again, since it's not persistent. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's skip to it pretty quick. Not finding a device. That's interesting. I expected one to be here. Not sure why it's not. Like, I have two of these things, and one I tried to configure with the app, so maybe it's adopted already. Let's hook up the other one. Cool, guys. How long does it take for the thing to show up? Like, it's flickering and stuff, the LED is. Found the update now. Great, man. Enjoy the update. If you have anything to add or change, just let me know. Yeah, yeah, I know. The thing can only be connected to one. I already knew, but I'm not sure. Let's see what this one's doing. I'm going to use a reset pin, just to be sure. Let me disconnect this one. Let me disconnect it before I got issues. So how do you reset these things? Like, there's a little pin thingy, but should you hold the pin thingy before connecting, or? How to reset a Unifi IP? Unifi command states physical reset. Press and hold the button for 10 seconds. Release the button, the LED will stop glowing. Do not disconnect the AP from spousals during the reboot process. Okay, we can do that. That's pretty easy. So let's hook up the main. Should I wait before it's actually booted or something? It doesn't tell. Harmless Saucer, you're in here, right? Thank you for the cup of Joe, man. Thank you for the cup of coffee. Really, thank you. I really appreciate that, mate. Okay, press and hold it for 10 seconds. Let's see what happens. Oh, thank you. I forgot to count. Doesn't matter. This is like 10 seconds, right? Well, it's doing all kind of things now. Maybe I'm missing some ports. Like, I'm not sure if it's open UDP ports. I wish there was a way to hook up buymeacoffee.com into Twitch, like showing a thingy, like thank you for the coffee. Just like if you hit subscribe now, like there's a follow me button or something down there. Be sure to hit it, by the way. If you hit it, a big pop-up shows up, but we have a new follower, which is pretty cool. I wish I could do the same with buymeacoffee.com. Maybe I should send them a note. They are pretty helpful, by the way. It's still doing stuff. Okay, maybe I can, while this thing is resetting and rebooting and stuff, maybe I can create some configuration that is needed for it to be an actual add-on. What streaming software am I using? OBS. Let me paste it for you. This is what I'm using. There we go. I could open it, but it would look really strange. Like, it shows me the thing I'm seeing, so that would be like a deep tunnel, like a Doppler effect, or how do you call it? You're welcome, mate. Let me show you. Look, if I open it here, it looks pretty strange, right? It's like insane in the membrane. Yeah. Okay. So while this thing is still rebooting, I think. Yeah, it still notifies. I'm not sure if the settings are correct, but let's continue. I'm going to create a basic configuration. It's on. So how does this going to work? Like, we need ports. Okay, Unifi used ports. This is a nice list. I need this. 88 is used for device control and communication. Stunning. Guest portal for remote locations. Nice. There's a guest portal in this thing? That's pretty cool. It's like having a guest access and then they have to agree to some things nobody reads, right? Okay. Okay. I can do this. Okay, let's hook up. This is the add-on configuration for hash.io. So this is telling hash.io which ports are available. And there are pretty many ports. So this is port 3478/UDP, since this is only UDP. Eight 880 TCP. 8843 TCP again. (8443) TCP. 6789/TCP. Okay, this is only a small subset. Should we enable all? Let's sort them to make it easier to watch. Like this. Okay, but this is strange, right? Okay, 8080 is in there, 8443 is in there, 888 6789 is in there. Like local bound database communication. That's on. This is for MongoDB, right? Let's look inside of it. Oh, this is Ubuntu based. It's apt. Nice. Yeah, I guess so too. And I probably just opened only TCP, right? Like it's not finding it. So I probably only opened TCP. So let's look up docker run TCP port forward. No, UDP port forward. Like I have to add /UDP. So that's what's wrong probably at this moment. So let's abort this thingy. Let's see if I could. Yeah, let's abort. Oh, hey, that's odd. Okay, never mind. So we have 8080, which is TCP. We have 8081, which I cannot match. So this one is out. We have. Let's just keep them in order, like P3478 to 3478/UDP. And then comes 6789, which is TCP. 6789, which is a bad port number in my humble opinion. 8080 is next, so that's already in here, which is TCP. 443, which is TCP. 8880, which is TCP. This one is now a duplicate. Do I have all of them now? Like, and here. Yeah, so this should be the bare minimum, right? And the UDP is probably indeed, but it's for stun. Yeah, so that's probably the reason it doesn't see it. Thank you for noticing, Harmless Saucer. Helpful. Okay, let's try again. This could be my network though. Or I'm missing something. I do not know. Look at this. Used for AP discovery. Okay, we need to add another one. Let's go. and make discoverable. These two are important as well, I guess. One, two. 90, 100. It's always a puzzle. That's why add-on development takes a long time. Okay, let's see. Let's try again. Not sure. It could be my network as well, by the way. I expect it to show up, right? I have the app installed on my mobile as well. Like, you could use it. Not that's the goal, but I could check if the AP is visible. It's discovering Unifi devices. It's not showing up. So I guess it's not a problem with the add-on. There's something else going wrong here. Like, it's just discovering devices, that's it. Nothing. So I'm pretty sure at this moment that this is not an issue with the add-on or the Docker container as the state is right now. I think it's an issue with the AP I'm using, or my network, or maybe I did not make the connection right. Let me check. Yeah, it's in. I'm not sure. Let's read the request, the reset guides again. Did I do that correctly? Unifi reset. What's the white LED or amber LED? I'm not sure if I did it correctly. No, it didn't pick up on a mobile app, Harmless Saucer. So there's something else wrong. It's showing this, like, I'm not sure if it's visible on the webcam, but it shows the blue light and the light purple one, and it goes off. It's like repeating it, and it stays in it that way, so not sure what's going on. No, I did not have a PoE connection in the wall. I have an PoE injector. I'm going to make it powerless. Okay, now it seems to be just white light. I want this to work so badly. I have those things and I want to use them. Like, my Wi-Fi sucks. Yeah, solid white is booting. Yeah, it's booting now. Oh, wrong thingy. Hold and press the reset button for 10 seconds. Release the button, the LED on the EP will stop glowing. Okay, let's do that again. Let's just try that. I think I forwarded everything, right? This is forwarded. This one is, this one isn't needed. This is IDE broadcasting, which is not the thing we're doing. And this one is forward, and this one as well, so. Oh, look at it. There it is. It popped up. It popped up. Nice. I was just being impatient, I guess. It popped up. It did pop up. Okay. So right now, I'm not going to configure it like it pops up. I agree. This is enough for the stage I'm in right now. Like I'm running it like in a non-persistent mode. So if I would adopt this AP, it would be bound to something that's not persistent, and let's not. But I am going to update those port settings. Okay, this is amazing. This is the thing I was hoping for. Okay, so they're all in except for these two. This one and 1900, both UDP. Okay, UDP. Oh, I was not meant to do that. Sort the lines. Yeah, this is not sorting. This should go here. Here we go. So for the add-on configuration, I added in the ports. We're going to support all architectures. It's a service, so it should boot before hash.io. Should it boot before hash.io? Doesn't matter actually. That's fine. It's a service. It doesn't need to be on a host network apparently. And this looks basically pretty cool. I'm going to add in some options already. Like I'm going to support SSL. I'm not sure how to set it up, but I really want to support SSL out of the box. So I'm going to add the proper keys for it, like SSL. By default, I will disable it. Cert key. I'm going to copy that. I'm doubting. Let's take the IDE. Like these two. So that's the configuration option available. And now we need a schema as well, telling hash.io what it should expect in those options. Like SSL is a boolean, so it's false or true. Insert file and key file are both strings. Okay. So that looks fine. So actually I think with these steps I already have running it on, since I already built a service which is working. We already know that. The requirement checks is in place. Configuration files in place. Is that SSL in connectivity to the web UI or in general? I'm just wondering if you need that for the Unifi cloud stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, this is the first time for me using this piece of shit, I want to say, but no, this software. I'm not sure. So this should be enough. I'm going to run a test build, see if it starts as an add-on, and then I'm done for the night. So I need the thing running on my local machine. I forgot the port. Was it 207? Was this my local machine? Yeah, this is my local machine. Okay, so since this is my local machine, this should show up already. Where is it? Am I that blind? Oh, there are all things in here that I don't... It's a mess. No, this is not a correct machine. Is it this one? Yeah, this is it. Let's refresh it. It was in a broken state, it should be working now. Oh, I need to update the port in the configuration file. Like, it was 8080, right? Okay. Refresh it again. It's showing InfluxDB since I copied the InfluxDB as a template. So we're going to ignore that for now. I hit a rebuild button, and what it does is it looks at the code and just build the add-on from scratch, just like I would with Docker, but in this case from hash.io. Okay, let's check if it actually built correctly. It's done, it did build it, so that's okay. Let's see if it starts. Let's see what happens. Look at this. That seems okay, right? Like, it's done. Let's see if it opens. There we go, we have an add-on. Like in its most basic form, but it's an add-on. It's running, it's building. So the thing I'm going to do in the next couple of days is ensure the data is persistent. So the MongoDB data is actually stored outside of the container to ensure data persists. So I think this is about it. This is a pretty big success tonight, guys. I'm pretty happy with this night, by the way. Yeah, pretty proud. Feel good. We've released the IDE add-on, which is amazing. We started out developing. So thank you for watching. Tune in next time. See you later, guys.